Mauricio Mejia Live. Entertainment guru, Silicon Valley entrepreneur, author, and speaker. It's Mauricio Mejia Live. Bringing to you real people, real day-to-day life experiences, and real business opportunities. If you dare to step up. Do you have what it takes to take it to the next level and become who you are truly destined to become? Decide, commit, execute. Join the thousands of viewers around the world and become a part of the conversation. Mauricio Mejia Live.
Check. 1 2 1 2. We're doing this all over again. Wow. You know, how's everybody doing? It is Mauricio Mejia Live. Man, I got to tell you guys, this is crazy. We're season 2, episode number 24, and I'm still every time, every show, there's always something that pops off. So we just did this. This is the second time we did the intro today. I want to welcome everyone again. Mauricio Mejia Live every Wednesday, season number 2, episode number 24. We have only 6 more left of the season. That's right. We're going to be wrapping up season 2 with 30 episodes, and then we're going to be planning out season 3, which we have a lot of big plans for season 3. It's going to go on a whole different level. So again, I want to thank everyone and welcome everybody for joining me. It is Mauricio Mejia Live, season 2, episode number 24. Again, we do this every Wednesday, 6 p.m. on the West Coast and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. And again, I want to welcome everyone that tunes in every week. From all around the world, from here, from the West to the East, and for the people that are awake around the other side of the globe, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. Thank you for everybody that jumps in and represents from España, from Portugal, from Europe. We got people that are visiting that always leave comments. From Mexico, Central America, and South America. I want to say thank you. Gracias a toda la gente that jumps in and represents and sends me all the great feedback that I get on the back end, whether it's live, whether you're watching me live, or you send me all the feedback after the fact, which, by the way, I love, and thank you very much to everyone. So make sure to drop in a comment. Make sure to let me know where you're from. Give me your name, not your stage name, but your real name, and what city you're from, so that I can give you guys a shout out. So again, thank you, everyone. For joining tonight. We're broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. That's right. We're broadcasting on 3 platforms. That's Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. And we do this every week, every Wednesday, live from our studios in the heart of Silicon Valley, downtown San Jose. That's right. There is only one Silicon Valley, and that is here in downtown San Jose. So we're broadcasting live. I can't even speak today, guys. I've had such an amazing and exciting day today that I am straight on just adrenaline, just thinking and realizing all the great things that are happening due to all the hard work and focus and again, determination and wanting to do great things here on this planet and making a big impact. So far, again, I want to thank all the business entrepreneurs that have been here, all the real estate moguls, all the great political leaders. Even though we might disagree to disagree or agree to disagree, however you want to flip it, politics is always going to be a part of life, and we have to deal with it. We deal with politics on a daily basis, whether you know it or not. When you're at home and you're dealing with your children, it's politics. When you're dealing with your families, it's politics. When you're dealing with your daily life, dealing with others, it's politics. There's politics always involved in things. So again, thank you to all the great political leaders that have been on my show. Thank you. To the stock advisors that are out there that have been on my show, the crypto advisors, the foreign exchange advisors that I have, to my fitness and entertainment gurus that have been on my show. Thank you very much. Again, I want to make it fresh every week and bring on some great talent and guests so that we can make things happen. So guys, again, this is episode number 24. We plan on wrapping up season 2 at episode 30. So with that said, I'm very excited tonight to bring on my guest. We have had some great conversations. We've known each other in the passing here in Silicon Valley for many years, and I think that this is a great opportunity to kind of have a conversation on what's currently going on in our world, on our planet, some of the mental mindsets that are happening. So it's my pleasure to have tonight Mike Aguilera. He's an influence coach, and he's got a bunch of other things. Give you a little quick background. He's the CEO of Aguilera and Associates. He is also a communication expert, and we're going to ask him, what is a communication expert? Because that sounds pretty intense. He's also in that lane. He's specializing in subconscious communication techniques, which I'm interested. I want to learn. How can I be a better communicator? How can I tap into other sources and just learn other skill sets? So, along with that, it's rapport building, which I'm very familiar with rapport because business and communications comes with rapport. You got to build rapport with people before anything happens, before any deals close and all that good stuff. You got to have rapport with the person that you're doing business or the relationship that you're in. You got to have rapport. So I'm hope that I'm not talking out of context here, and I hope that Mike can validate what I'm saying here. Also, and this is for both building business leaders and to have some persuasion and influence. So, before I forget, also he's a speaker and he's an author. He wrote a book, Connect with Anyone in 90 Seconds or Less. So I'm interested in learning about connecting with people in 90 seconds or less. The Art of Networking. That's another book. So I'm looking forward again to bringing on Mike Aguilera. So let me bring him onto the stage. Mike, how are you, sir? Good afternoon.
I'm doing well. Thanks for the invitation.
I hope that I covered all the bases here. You definitely have an extensive background, and I'm excited to have you here and really learn about some of the things that you've done in your career and in your life, and how it's brought you. Obviously you're based here in Silicon Valley, so thank you very much for being here tonight. Can you hear me? Are you good over there? All right, we're good. All right, perfect. I can hear you clearly, so we're
Okay.
good. So, Mike, share with us. Give us some insight. I wrote down a couple of questions, and usually I use this as kind of our gauge for our conversation. And we're not limited here on time, so I hope you at least set an hour of your time so that we can pour into people tonight that are watching us from around the world. And again, people that you're watching, please leave some comments. Please let us know where you're at. We're broadcasting on 3 channels, Mike. So just so you know, we're on Facebook Live and we're on YouTube Live and also Twitch Live. So I'll be watching the back end here, and I'll jump in and so forth. So again, thank you for your time tonight. Let's welcome Mike. You have so many accomplishments and successes, but let's start from the beginning. How did you get started? How did you get started in your career? Because it's unique. I'm going to share a quick story with you. 1995, I graduated from high school, and I got accepted to San Jose State. And part of the program, part of the agreement, in order to get it fully accepted into San Jose State, I had to go to a neuro-linguistic class. What was the title? It was language. It was, and I remember in that class. I mean, I got to say, very interesting topic. There was a lot of great topics and great pointers. Obviously, as a freshman going into college, I don't think it was the hottest topic to teach, but it was something that really resonated in me after the fact, because I really paid attention to words are powerful, tonality is powerful, and all that good stuff. So give us a little background and how you got started in your career moving forward.
Okay. Yeah. And so my story.
Yes, please.
I've been doing this for around over 20 years. Before that, I was in the high-tech field, and I was moving up the ladder as a sales manager and leader and doing a lot of training. And so I was always looking for personal development information or training that can help me. And back then I had the fear of public speaking. So I was also looking for some things that can help me in regards to doing presentations, being better. And I came across what you've said, NLP, neuro-linguistics programming. And I came across it, actually, a lot of people are not even aware that Tony Robbins, the foundation of his training is based on NLP.
I'm a big Tony Robbins fan, man. I'm a big Tony Robbins fan. So I get it. I get it.
Yeah. And right now, what he does it when he's consulting people one-on-one. When you see him working with people in his sessions or his seminars, primarily what he does with NLP right now is more for emotions, having people control their emotional state. So he'll have in his event music pumping, people jumping up and down. And I first came across through his book, and so I was fascinated with that. And I went through some books and some training, and then eventually I went through the formality of being certified as a practitioner, and that's a 2-week course, and a master practitioner, and then a trainer in NLP. And the background of NLP is it's modeled after therapists that were creating amazing change in people, overcoming phobias, bad habits. And it's the way the therapists were talking to them, they were giving them certain exercises and things to do, but also the therapists reading the people, the meaning behind their answers, and how they use their voice and the questions they would ask. Yep. And so that fascinated me with the communication elements of it. And also NLP helped me overcome the fear of public speaking. So it empowered me and transformed my life.
Hold on. Stop right there. I'm gonna stop you when there's moments where I'm like, so you had fear of speaking.
Mm-hmm.
You know that they say that's one of the biggest fears in people have the fear of speaking. They have that is got to be one of the top 2 things or top 10 things in life. Is one of them is the fear of speaking. So you had the fear of speaking, and now you're here and you're gonna share with us how you broke through that, possibly.
Sure, I'll give the listeners some tips on what I did. There's also some exercise and techniques, and you're right. Seinfeld, I think, said when someone's at a funeral and they're giving the eulogy, people would rather be in the coffin instead of standing up and presenting. So fear of public speaking is
there you go. There.
Yeah. Then death and some other things, but and so I've invested a lot of time, and I was in the high tech field, and I went from one company to another layoff, and eventually I set myself up to have my own business and doing training and coaching around communication skills.
Go ahead.
Not going.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I was just testing the link, making sure that it's good.
Okay, so, we're still live.
Yeah, we're still live here.
And so it transformed my life, and then I was helping other people during conversations, helping them create some breakthroughs in their life. And so I decided to break away after another layoff and just set myself up to do my own training and coaching, and I've been doing it ever since for, again, over 20 years. So I presented in Italy and Germany, London, Mexico, Canada, throughout the United States, New York, Miami, Texas. I do a lot with real estate agents as well, presented to many of their associations. I know we've crossed paths at some of their events. And
yeah, that's where I got it twisted. I've seen you at so many real estate events. I thought that you had some kind of real estate expert, but what you've done is you've educated and opened up some of these realtors and people that are involved in real estate to increase their sales. I'm assuming, right? I mean, that's awesome.
I've presented at many of the various real estate associations and in offices, and I've trained and coached one-on-one real estate agents to help them improve their game. And even some of them that are very successful, they're doing great business, multiple sales a month, and doing some great numbers. But even in this session, what I wanted to also kind of expand on is personal branding. I help them with a personal brand. And so your book, which I read both of them, which I can see why. Yeah, I can see why Smoke and Mirrors can be a movie, because it reads like, what's going to happen next? Now what did he do? Now what happened to him? How do you get out of that?
Yeah.
Oh man, hung in there. And so,
well, thank you, one, for reading the book. Thank you for stopping by, and really that says a lot. And I appreciate the fact that you took the time to learn about myself as well. I mean, even though we've known each other in passing, and I was intrigued by what you do, and I think that's why it's important that you're here on the show, because I want the audience out there to educate themselves, not only on themselves, personal growth, entrepreneurship, but I want someone to and if I'm incorrect, please, I want you to correct me. You're the subject matter expert here. Words are powerful. What we think and what we say and think out loud are powerful, and so I'm hoping that we can touch on that as well. So
yeah, in my book, which I should have given you a copy, I'll drop it off soon. In my book, I talk about dangerous words, because certain words can create negative emotions and feelings. And there's also positive words that create what's called a prime and a train of thought. And it's not just the words, it's how you say it, but also your whole body, your whole energy is transferring and generating a feeling. And so you've mastered that, because you've said in your book, and you kind of created that also by the association with I think it was Albert and Martin. early in your life. Yeah, when you started to associate with other people, you started, I think, modeling them, and then you started to project that confidence. And so we all have this so-called intuition. We get an impression of feeling about people. And that's a lot of the nonverbal subconscious communication, how you take up space, how you move, your voice, your mannerism, your eye contact.
Yes.
And so all of that is projecting a sense of confidence, or if you're looking down and making quick jerky motions, nervousness or not confident.
or sending messages to other people right now. I'm like, hey, I'm on my show right now. Can you call me later? Or I'm sending people links. But no, I agree. People. That's why when I do business, Mike, I like to do business in person. I like to watch people's eyes. I like to watch their body language, because that tells me, am I doing good business with good people, or am I wasting my time? And you can tell you hit it right on the money. You can tell the minute you ask the hard questions whether people are in or they're out. Are they nervous? Are they not? So yeah.
A lot of that is, and also what I've been studying for the past couple of years is neuroscience, which is a lot of about emotions and what triggers emotions. And so when I'm coaching people, I also teach them how to read people and how to what I call intuitive listening. Because it's not just listening to the words and repeating them back as, so you want to sell your home in 30 days, but you want to hear their voice, read them to the point where you can see their actions, their reactions. Are they excited? Are they nervous? Are they moving in towards you or moving back? Are they twitching, or are they just sitting there calm? Or are they even present? Are they in their cell phone and not really being present? So a lot of it that can help people is just being present and reading people. And so that's a big element of what I teach, and also what I call intuitive listening, because when you hear a person, the words they use, their voice, their gestures, their mannerism, they're presenting and projecting information to you at different levels. It's also what it refers to like the matrix, where you can start to see all this data of information being sent to you. And if you know what to look for, then you can start to understand it. If you don't know what you look for, then you start to get an intuition or feeling that if you combine both of those, then you can have conversations that are very insightful, and also ask questions that will reveal what's really driving the person, what emotionally charges them, what can motivate them. I've even coached brokers on how to have what I call conversational coaching sessions, because a broker, as you know, real estate agent's an independent contractor. They're not on salary. You just can't tell them, go make those phone calls. You have to have a conversation, and it's beyond just telling them go do it or motivating them or accountability. It's having them tell you what they should do, make it their idea. So there's a lot within. You're going to say something?
Yeah, and I was going to say, motivation to me is like throwing fuel to the fire, and once the fire burns out the fuel, the flame just goes back to normal. You got to be able to stay consistent, and consistency is what, in my mind, gives long-lasting long-term results. So, and then that's been part of my coaching and part of my training that I've had from my mentors, and the things that I've listened to and poured into myself, that consistency is always key. But in order to have that, you always have to have a consistent fire burning in order for you to get those results. So motivation will get you fired up, but it's consistency and it's effort. It's what I wrote my second book, Decide, Commit, Execute. You can make a decision and you can commit to it, but if you don't execute on the first two, then it goes nowhere. It's just there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And some of that also related to your conversations you have with yourself, because you can be motivated, but if you're thinking, oh, but I really don't want to do that, or I'm going to be rejected and embarrassed. Right. But I'm excited. I want to do it. But no, maybe I should.
Yeah. You gotta quiet that voice in your head. Yeah. And those are, absolutely.
Or what I tell people is just change that voice to something positive, but also to good questions. So a good question you can ask yourself would be, what else can I do to win this client? What else can I do to get another $20,000 in the bank?
Yeah.
Then you start thinking about solutions and how to make it happen versus, oh no, I don't know if I should do that. Then anything you tell yourself, your mind will start to look for it. If you say, I'm not good at making cold calls, you're going to look for things that will justify that. You're going to say, see, that person didn't talk to me on the phone, so I know I'm not good at cold calling, or I know I'm not good in sales, or I know I'm not good in this business. So the questions and the conversations you have with yourself, your mind is listening, and it's going to Go ahead.
No, I agree. I want to share something with our audience today. I get these like daily affirmations, and the one today was when it hit home real strong, Mike. I mean, it hit me, and every day I love to read positive. I love to listen to positive when I work out. Part of my daily routines. I love to do things that get me, they fire me up, they fire off my day. So if I miss something, I feel almost out of sequence. But today's reading was, you are not defined by your past, you are prepared by it. Which, whoa, that one hit really home, because your past doesn't define you. It only prepares you for what you're going forward. Your unique experiences have given you the tools needed to create a breakthrough that you seek. Yes, life has given us all the different breakthroughs, because we're also seeking for more. I mean, at least for myself, I made a very clear, conscious decision at a very young age that I was tired of being broke, poor, and living in the lifestyle that we had. But I also understood that this was where we were at as we were growing up. Don't let the illusion of the impossible keep you from your possible. Damn. So I'm like, these words are powerful if you read them and you take time to process them. Keep moving forward by believing that you can perceive it, that if you can perceive it, you can achieve it. Going back to, and that's what brought me back, is what you're saying right now. If you can perceive it, you can achieve it. Use what you know to create your all. Remember, you choose your dreams. Man, that was very powerful this morning to read that while I was doing a workout with one of my friends, partners, and it was just so perfect. It was just making me think of everything that we were going to talk about this evening. So words are powerful.
Yeah, and two things I wanted to share with you as well is when I'm coaching clients, and even I also do presentations at many of the high-tech companies, Cisco, Intel, IBM, McDonald's restaurants, Hilton hotels. So I do more on leadership. And with salespeople in general, there's a big push to identify your why, which is good. You want it, your kids, if it's their lifestyle, their children, whatever, that will help you push you. However, real entrepreneurs like yourself, Mauricio, real entrepreneurs understand their why, but what actually kicks in is a sense of destiny. Once you have this sense of destiny, I'm meant to do great things. I'm meant to do something different. I'm not meant to live this life. And there was also a story about, I forget the author's name, but he interviewed 50 Cent, the rapper. Mm-hmm. And he was shot 9 times in front of his grandmother's house. I mean, he survived.
He should have been dead. He should have been dead. Yeah. I read the book. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But there was another book by Understanding Human, the Laws of Human Nature. That's what it is. I forget the author's name, but he also did a book based on 50 Cent. And he said when he interviews people like 50 Cent, what drives you? And they say, I just have a destiny. I'm destined to do, to do other things, to make a difference, to change my life for other people's lives. And so I see that in you as well. You have your why. You wanted to have a better lifestyle, but you also had this driving sense of destiny. And nothing's going to get in my way. I'm going to have some roadblocks and some bumps, but that's just going to be another lesson. I'm going to move forward. And in regards to the past, with some people, in NLP, this is called reframing. You may have had some challenges in the past. However, if you change the frame of that or change the meaning of that, it can empower you. There was one gentleman I was coaching, and he said he had a heavy accent, and he said when he first started to do job interviews, he was embarrassed, and even the human resource people would tell him, "Hey, you need to improve your English." And he said he was really shocked by that, upset. And I said, okay, let's reframe it. So that caused you to improve your English. That made you stronger. That then gave you awareness of what companies you don't want to work for because they're going to treat you bad. And now you're improving your communication. You're much better. You kind of was driving you. And so that negative experience can be switched around if you just add some positive elements so that it will propel you and not drive you back or make you procrastinate, but say, okay, I've hit some hurdles. I did do some amazing things. You gonna say something?
Yeah. So I call that rocket fuel. So for me, the minute that I feel something that is trying to bring me down, trying to affect me in a negative manner, I turn that into rocket fuel. First of all, Mike, I want to say thank you very much for acknowledging the fact that everything that you're saying right now is true 100%, in the sense that I chose to choose a better life, and I chose and I made a very conscious thought process where I know that I was destined for more. I know that my life growing up in the city of Los Angeles, in the barrio of Los Angeles, and look, that it comes out of me. I'm like, in Highland Park, and growing up Latino, and growing up, I didn't want to fall into those regular stereotypes that unfortunately still live today, and I really don't care about them, because I know that I've moved on. I'm confident in myself, and I continue to push forward. But the point is that I appreciate the fact that you acknowledge that, and I use the minute that someone tries to knock me or tries to hate or say things, I actually grab that, and I appreciate it, and I say, man, if you had that enough energy to go put that out to me, I'm gonna grab it, I'm gonna put it, I call it in my stomach, and I'm gonna use that as rocket fuel to just continue to catapult me to the next level. And that's what I continuously do. I don't let things affect me. Maybe in the past, at a younger age, I did, because I didn't understand it yet. But as I started to grasp and understand that, guys, I actually appreciate and I appreciate the good, but I also embrace the bad of people, or what they have to say, because I turn it around, and I spin it into a positive, and it continues to, again, catapult me. And interestingly enough, and I think what gravitates me to our conversation, and what you said and what you shared with me, is the fact that, neurolinguistics, people just don't understand simple words. Words have meanings. Our neural, our neural system, the mind. Linguistics are what we say. And I always tell people, words are powerful. They learn to educate yourself, and I can go from, and linguistics. That was the class that we took, linguistics. And there was codes. I learned from code switching. I learned what the definition of code switching was. I'm bilingual. I can speak Spanish and English. I can do Spanglish. I can speak from very articulate and have a very intelligent conversation to where I can drop it down and have a very street conversation if we need to. I know how to, like a chameleon. We adapt to our environment.
Yeah. And yes, neuron is the mind, L, linguistic. It's your words, but also your body language, because you're also talking with your body. And then P for programming is we all have unique ways of processing information. We all have our own programs of how we see the world. And you're right, when someone is in a bad mood, and they may say something negative to you, or just yell or be upset, what I tell people is, don't take it personal. Just search to understand, because there's something going on in their life. They may have just had an accident, or someone's ill from COVID, or something has happened, or maybe an argument with a wife or husband, and they're just on edge. And so don't take it personal. Don't just jump back in there and let them suck you into an argument. Just say, oh, okay, so what's going on? So why do you say that? Or, you're doing okay. And then that'll empower you and calm them down, and they can see that your armor is on. You're not going to be hurt or manipulated or get drawn into an argument or be put down. You're just going to be you. And what some people talk about is just walk like a lion. I'm not afraid of you. I'm just, what's going on? Tell me. And so there's this kind of like lion mentality of just walking softly and moving, and not necessarily being a predator. You'll eat when you're hungry, but I'm just moving through, and you're not going to bother me. And so it's also a big mindset of being present and just being okay with yourself and not taking things personally, unless they say something personal to you. But in most cases, they're just venting. And we all know that. We can sense that with loved ones around us. If someone's upset, you can see by the way they're walking and talking. They go, okay, something's going on. They may have a bad day. So if they start to say something bad, it wasn't me, they shouldn't have talked to me. But if it's out of line, I'll make a correction.
I have to agree with you on that. There's one of the things that I've learned over my lifetime is that I don't take things personal. I used to take things, and it's a skill set. You have to learn it. You have to learn how to let things hit you and bounce off of you, because if you were to absorb all of that negative energy, all of that negative talk, I don't think we would go insane. We would go crazy just from all of that negative intensity just that hits our bodies. Because, when I have a negative conversation, it really has a real big effect my mindset, my thinking, my clarity. It leads me to in the past, it would lead me to just self-destruction, destructing behaviors, whether it's drinking, whether it's just, in my mind, it was just not things that were constructive. So what I found and I associated is that when I had those kind of moments, I would just dive into work and I would focus on my work because I love to work. I love to build. I love to build businesses. I love the freedom that I've gained from being and becoming an entrepreneur at a very young age. Because I've never had that employee mindset, if we can call it that. So for me, it's always been something that I've appreciated, embraced, and moved forward with it. So it's just, again, a lot of what you're saying just relates and it hits me because that's just the way I look at things. Moving forward, I don't take things personal. I absorb it and I move on and I try to teach that to my teammates as well and the people that I work around with. A lot of great things have been happening recently. I not only with what just has happened in the last 15 months with this whole COVID, and everyone has been fed so much information, whether it's true, in the middle, or false. There's so much information that we've been bombarded with that we just really sometimes have a hard time processing. So it's been mentally exhausting. But on the same note, the personal things that I've gone through in my life, to the point where in 2019, a major partnership breakup, having to move forward, and then 2020, thinking that things would get resolved, and then we get hit with COVID. From April 1st, and it was no April Fool's joke when I went through, but from April 1st to, just June 15th, which I call the re-grand opening of California in the world, there's been a lot of things that have happened, and a lot of actually positive things for me, because I allowed myself to recalibrate myself and to slow things down in my mind and really focus and hone in on the roots of why I became an entrepreneur, why I do what I do, and coincidentally, and I don't believe in coincidences, but Smoke and Mirrors, my first book, was published. Right, I never got a chance to do an actual book tour, and then a month later, Decide, Commit, Execute was my second book that was published. And but I didn't get to publish it. I published it in the way that I would have, the whole red carpet and all that good stuff. So I'm looking forward to doing my to bringing out my books and redoing, doing it all over and really coming out with strong vengeance, moving forward.
Yeah. The COVID and everything kind of shifted everyone's life. Even for me, what was interesting is I got busier. I had more coaching clients than I can handle. So I stopped accepting coaching clients. They're all Zoom sessions now. I have clients in Singapore and India and Canada. So a lot of international clients that I've been working with. And some of them, as I said, real estate brokers. I'm helping them understand their sales team and how to motivate them and how to get the best out of them. And to me, Smoke and Mirrors is actually about branding, because you were able to brand yourself and create this smoke and mirror illusion of being successful and a hustler. And so for one question I have, the two guys with the Lamborghini, Martin and was it Alex or
Albert? Yes.
Albert. Yeah. Why did they embrace and take you under their wings and say, "Hey, come on, let's join us"? What do you think?
To this day, I still ask myself. I still communicate with Martin Rojas, who's living in Southern California. And Albert, that guy disappeared after the first year after I met him. But I asked myself, what was well, one, I know what the attraction was on my part. I mean, I've always dreamed of having a Lamborghini, and during that time, the Lamborghini Countach was the Lamborghini of Lamborghinis. Even though I'm a Ferrari lover, the Lamborghini Countach, the fact that it was on the outside of my house, I was living in the foothills of Monrovia. I was going to Monrovia High, and the fact that I had the courage, because I thought in my young age I was a cool guy too, and these guys were cool guys. I can actually talk to them, and when we started to communicate, it was like, "Hey, what do you do? What do you guys do?" And I was very inquisitive, as like kids. I was just a older young kid that was looking up to these guys and wanted to learn what is it these guys are doing, because what I saw from the outside, perception versus reality, was that these guys must be doing something to be driving a Lamborghini Countach, which is my dream car. They don't look that old, and I want to know how can I get there. So when we had that conversation, the fact that Martin and I were able to build a rapport, and knowing that he was older than me and I'm this young kid, the fact that we can speak the language and be cool with each other, it was cool. And then the fact that he asked me, "Hey kid, what are you doing? You want to come to the club?" For me, it was the fact that I wasn't afraid to say, "Hey, yeah, I want to hang out with these guys," but I don't know why. So I don't know if that was a question, but for me, I just thought maybe I'm just this cool young kid, and or maybe these guys are looking to recruit the next part of what they do is recruiting this young talent to go out and pass out flyers, because that's how I started my journey in nightlife, was passing out flyers in parking lots.
Yeah, and do you still have that Polaroid photo of you in front of the Lamborghini in front of your house?
Absolutely, I still do. It's in my photo album, right? Because we had photo albums back then, and I still have even though the Polaroid now is probably faded, I still do have that picture. You brought that up. I'm gonna actually go back and I know where the box is at. I know exactly where this photo is at. I'm gonna take a picture of it. I'm gonna have to post it up as a throwback Thursday kind of picture. But
it would have been great for you to include a few photos in your book, Smoke and Mirrors, of some of those.
I got to tell you, my ghostwriter, my writer that I was working with, Shireen Rivera, she said it to me. She goes, "I need you to grab some pictures." I think, Mike, I was so in the rush towards the end to get my book published that I skipped a lot of things that I shouldn't have not. But what I'm learning now is that I actually left a lot of things out of there for the imagination. And in the movie, because we wrote this with the intent of doing a movie, I can see that as being one of the scenes where I'm this young kid walking up and I see this red Lamborghini Countach parked in front of my house. And the conversation is sparked up between me and Martin. And that's the beginning of the journey to where I'm at today.
And so what I sense with Martin and Albert is, and this is part of what I coach also, what I call conversational selling, is you had a conversation with them and you created rapport. And part of rapport, a big element of rapport, is your projection. You were projecting calmness, that you like them, versus nervousness and who are these? It was just, hey, who are you? And by asking certain questions, you were validating them. They were getting a sense that, well, he thinks that we're important, or he really likes us. It's not prying questions of, so what do you guys do? And wow, that's great. And so I'm sure it accelerated, and that accelerates the rapport, because you're acknowledging. People want to feel significant, acknowledged. And so if you ask them questions about themselves, so what do you do? Oh, wow, that's great. They go, oh, yeah, some things I'm okay. And so that probably drew them, or at least had them accept you, like, okay, this person, this kid, he's okay.
Yeah.
He likes us.
I gotta add that. I gotta add to what you're saying, that actually helped me throughout my career in the entertainment industry. Why? And people ask me to this day, "Hey, Mauricio, did you take pictures with all the celebrities and all the people that you were with?" And in my mind, I'm like, "Damn, I didn't." But in retrospect, I don't have any regrets, because I treated everyone, whether you were the celebrity in my nightclub or in any event that I was doing, the same way that I would treat, and I kid you not, I would treat the janitor in my operation. Why? Because everyone was important to me. Everything is important to me. Doesn't matter what you do. Yes, you're a celebrity, and thank you for being here. But I also remembered in my mind, you're here because I'm paying you to be here, and we're here. This is a business. So I never allowed the celebrityness or the craziness to get to my head. I just kept moving forward and embraced everyone just as an equal in this world. That's just who I was, and to this day, I mean, do I regret it? No, I mean, I just didn't get to have the memories that I wish I could have had. But actually, I take that back. The only person that I had that I took it out of that I went to the next level to take a picture of was Manolo from Scarface. I mean, like I was like, this is the person I need to take a picture with. So yeah,
and being consistent like that. Back to your book, Smoke and Mirrors. You were branding yourself early on as a hustler, someone that does things, someone that gets things taken care of, that's in action. And so that reputation started to precede you to where people would say, oh, you've done that? Oh, I heard about you. And to me, you can share a strong lesson to like college kids or high school kids that what you're doing now, the way you act, your hustle, whatever you're doing is creating a brand. Because a lot of people get stuck on brand of the way I dress or my social media or my logo, but the brand, what it comes down to is you. What experience do you bring into the conversation? What experience do you generate? Because a band has their own brand. A certain band plays a certain music, and then gets drawn to it. A different band has a different. You have a different experience with them. So you're creating music in people's lives, and your music is the music of consistency and getting things done. And even to the point, I remember in your book, I think it was Byron Davis, the athlete.
Yes.
The sneakers, where you said, I don't care who he is. No one's coming in with white sneakers.
No.
So that was So that was a consistent brand. You
absolutely.
Saying, this is my label, my brand, this is me. There's no gray area. There's a yes or no. And so people honored that and people respected that. Yes. Even he did. Did he change shoes or what did he do?
No. Well, I mean, so I had to break my own rules, but it cost him. It cost him a lot to get in. I mean, I remember the management calling me. It's Baron Davis. He's outside of my club. He's trying to get in. He's wearing white tennis shoes. It's not that I don't like white tennis shoes. There's a reason why, and I won't share. I want people to read the book, and it tells you why we don't allow white tennis shoes. But the management calls me, and the guy says, "Hey, what is it going to take?" So I wanted to be a smartass, and I'm like, "It's going to cost $5,000." The guy says, "No problem." So I was like, "Oh, I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, I meant 10. No, I mean $5,000." The guy said, "No problem, I'll pay it." And so we, instead of having Baron Davis walk through the front door, I had him walk in through the back door so that nobody would see. Why? Because perception, versus reality, or the whole perception, if I allowed that, then I would have to allow it for everyone else. So that was an executive decision that I had to take at the moment in order to avoid potential backlash, because there was people that I didn't allow into my venue because they were wearing white tennis shoes. But hey, you want to pay to play? Let's go. So it cost them $5,000 to get in, and they enjoyed it. And when I actually went inside and I reintroduced myself, I apologized to him, and I actually told him, hey, this is the reason why. By the end of the night, he was actually apologizing to me and agreeing with me because the place was jam-packed and people dirtied his shoes. And that's what. Why? Because we're in a crowded environment, an uncontrolled environment where people are drinking and having a great time. And if you're wearing white tennis shoes, I promise you, you're going to go home and something would have gotten spilled on your shoes and so forth. And that's what happens. So that's the reason why. It's not because I was being a hater to people. And people were like, oh, they don't allow tennis shoes. Yeah, we don't allow, because we're not that type of club in the first place. We want people to take it to the next level and higher standards. And it doesn't mean that shoes define your standards. It just means that this is the standard and the brand that you said, like you said, that we are representing. I mean, that's just the way it is. You don't, you just, that's the way it is. So you're right. So, and I appreciate again, thank you, Mike, because you continue to recognize the things that I've been putting out there, and I don't do it, by mistake or without thought. For me, Mauricio Mejia Live, my show, that's a brand. It's Mauricio Mejia Live. What am I doing? I'm bringing people live on my show to talk about these kind of things. Mauricio Mejia itself, I am a brand itself, and I want to always keep myself to a certain level, because I want people to also, when they think of doing business with me, that we're going to do good business, equal and fair business, and move forward. And then again, there's other people that don't agree with that they have their own opinions, and that's what it is, just an opinion. And I do things in my mindset with the most highest level of thinking and wanting to do great things.
Yeah, and again, gave everyone in your circle the reinforcement of you're consistent. You're going to. I mean, as you said, if they're willing to pay, then. But generally, no, they can't come with sneakers. And also, when I'm coaching clients or real estate agents or salespeople, I tell them this pretty much the same thing: is don't come across needy, because people smell that hey, I need you, come on in, I want you, and people will start to take advantage of you, or you're going to get people that are going to be unethical and not treat you well. So say no. In essence, with salespeople, what they should be doing is qualifying the client to see if you want to work with them and help them as like a real estate agent or anyone that does sales, instead of you trying to say, okay, you need me, you want me, but you don't know if they're the right person. They may, again, be unethical. They may lie to you. They may do things to you, or may hire somebody else while they're having you do something for them. So be strong by saying no to people that you know are not a good fit, because you'll enjoy life working with the people that you do fit with, that bring joy to your life, and then you bring joy to their life. And so that's in essence what you were doing. You're not being needy. You're saying, hey, I don't care who he is. I don't care what. They're not coming in. Or, okay, you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. But I'm not needy. I'm not going to come across and ask you to come in no matter what. I have standards, and people around you sense that.
And somebody wanted to raise their standards. Well, they paid to raise their standards to be in the environment. And I mean that with the most respect. I mean, hey, I wanted to be reasonable, but at the same time unreasonable. And at the same time, it showed that, hey, if you have the power to raise your standards, whether you are going to, I don't want to say buy your way in, but he did buy his way in because he had the means to do it, and he really wanted to be a part of it. And unfortunately, it was more unreasonable to go home and get some other pairs of shoes, and it is what it is. So, we can go on with this story. I love it. But Mike, really quick, I want to be mindful of your time as well. We have Maribel Ortega who's watching, and she had a question. She goes, any tips on communicating with confidence without losing humility? Wow, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. That is a great question to ask. What are your thoughts on that?
Without losing humility, to me that implies that something's going to happen that's going to humiliate you. Either you're going to stutter or trip or say the wrong words. And so when you're communicating, don't think about it as a communication or a presentation. Think about it as a conversation. Because when you're having a conversation, you're thinking about back and forth. And that's one of the things that helped me overcome the fear of public speaking, because I would go through my mind, I'm in a room with friends and family. We're having dinner together or Thanksgiving, and I'm talking and everyone over the table. But when I get in front of a group, I get nervous. I'm on stage. I feel like I'm performing. I have to perform. And I shifted and I reframed it. I'm not going to be doing a presentation. I'm going to have a conversation with this group, this audience. Mm-hmm. And so I tell them at the beginning, I say, I'm here to have a conversation with you about body language or how to connect with anyone in 90 seconds or less. And so if you have any questions, just raise your hand. If I can answer at that time or at the end. So I tell them, we're here to have a conversation. This is not just me talking. And so first off, just be authentic and be yourself and think about it as a conversation, not a presentation. And if you do make a mistake, I've made many mistakes on stage. I stumbled or I said the wrong word, and I would laugh. Excuse me. I've done it on camera. I would be on Zoom sessions, and I'd make a mistake or say something or forget where we were at. I go, okay, I lost track. What were we talking about? Yeah. And so it's okay to laugh and just have fun. And in regards to humiliated, it's only you will have to accept that. If you think you were humiliated by someone maybe saying something about you or giving you negative feedback. To me, feedback is just feedback. That's the perception. Right. I know if it's good feedback, great. If it's just hate feedback, okay, then it's their problem.
It's all good. But, I always tell people your opinion, it's just an opinion. It doesn't validate who I am, and I know where I stand and where I'm going, and so forth. But you said something in your response to, and thank you, by the way, Maribel, for asking that great question. You mentioned your book, Connect with Anyone in 90 Seconds or Less. Talk to us about your books. You've published 2 books because the other one is The Art of Networking. So definitely got to get me a copy of both of them. Please sign them, and I like to have them here in my library.
Yeah, The Art of Networking I wrote many years ago because I used to hate networking. Because back to the fear of public speaking, when I was small, I was labeled as shy. And I'm a family of 8, brothers and sisters. I have one older brother, and then I'm the second, and it goes down. And my older brother would walk up to our relatives, and he was only about 5 or 6, and I'm 4 or 5, and he would have conversations with them. And I'm thinking, God, how does he do that? Don't they feel like he's intruding? And so I was just, what I did is I realized that being shy is not a negative thing. It's back to the reframing. I labeled it as being respectful and courteous, because I didn't want to interrupt someone's conversation or interrupt whatever they're doing. So I was hesitant to walk up to somebody in a conversation and either feel like I'm interrupting them. And so I just shifted. I thought, okay, I'm just being respectful. So I'm going to be respectful and acknowledge that person and walk up to them and say hello and be respectful and have conversations with people instead of me ignoring them and thinking like I don't want to talk to them or I'm too good or whatever. So that empowered me to break over that fear of conversations. And in networking, I used to what's called modeling. I watched people and how they approached me, how they approach other people. And I would start to follow, okay, I like the way that icebreaker that he said, oh, that's bad. I'm not going to do that. And so I started, and I've done workshops, and I was just interviewed on NBC with Damon Trujillo on the post-pandemic gatherings. How to, should you shake hands? Should you hug? What do you do? How do you
I do it all. I don't care. I'm a hugger and I'm a handshaker, and but great point, because I can sense when somebody is like, so I don't impose myself. I don't push it, but I once I make eye contact with them and I see that they're that, I don't. I'll be honest. The way I look at it is like, oh, you're weak. Like, what's up? Like, that's me coming with my confidence forward. Like, you don't want to shake my hand. What, are you letting the world affect you? Like, so that's just me, right? But then I can adapt to the environment and be like right now, I'm standing. I feel like I'm present when I'm standing. So, when I do my show, I like to stand at all times. I cannot sit down because if I sit down, my energy is like, it's just not I feel my peak. So I stand up. But so when I do conversations with people, I'm hey, how are you? The post-pandemic has been one of the most craziest experiences that I've ever had in my entire life, because I've never experienced anything like this in my life. I've always been the guy in your face. If there's a problem, I'm the first guy that comes to you and be like, I want to solve the problem. I don't want to continue to I don't let it fester. I don't let it bubble up. If there's a problem, let's take care of it right away. I don't want to. I can't, because then there's no resolution, and then you drag it on. If we're gonna deal with this, let's deal with it now. Why? Because I find that there's resolution and solutions, or resolution to the situation right away, instead of just allowing it to fester. This post-pandemic, or I don't even want to call it post-pandemic, what we're going through right now. We got statistics that are coming back up. They're putting fear back out there, whether it's factual or not. Again, we're going through another version of so much information that's coming thrown at us, and we have to understand on how to filter and process all of this information. It's really tough, because what direction do you go? It's like I always go mask on, mask off, mask on, mask off. Which one is it today? Now I just keep it in my pocket, and if I'm comfortable, I'll wear it. I'll put it on. If I'm not, if I feel that my sixth sense says you might want to wear your mask today because it's a little sketchy out here in this room, So these people look like cochinos. They don't wash their hands. I'm gonna put on my mask and it's on. Again. My senses, my experience. I'm using all senses when I'm in a room, especially because I'm always actively using my senses.
Yeah, and in regards to hugging, and you're right. A big element, a big skill people can pick up is just watching and reading people. Because if you approach somebody and they lean back, they're telling you, "Oh, I want my distance." Same thing in sales. If they're leaning back when you say something, they're telling you something with their body language that they're kind of disengaging. So a lot's going on. And what I suggest in regards to hugging is ask for permission. Hey, it's okay if I give you a hug. If they start to lean back and they do a fist pump, and you do a fist pump, they're telling you, and it may not be that they're frightened. Well, more than likely they are, but it might be real sensitive because they may have had a close loved one that just passed away from COVID. So they're in a different world of health and the reality. It's not necessarily they're weak and afraid that they're going to get sick. It's just reality is really close at their level.
I, I don't take it personal. I just in my mind I say, well, you missed out on a good hug because I'm a great hugger. So that's the way I look at it. Or a good handshake, or hey, I'm a solid person. I always want to portray myself as a very strong and confident individual when I walk into the room, and I think that I command that presence when I walk into a room because I'm not afraid. Mike, I'm not afraid to have a conversation with anyone in the room because I enjoy it. I enjoy. I'm always wanting to learn what does the person do? What do you do, or why are you here? Especially when you start to get involved in other circles of influence. You start to, you'll want to know who's in the room. One of the biggest things, and I know that this has got to be basic business 101 and coaching 101, is when you do business and you walk into someone's office, the first thing I do is, as soon as I'm walking, I'm scanning the room, scanning top to bottom, what's on their desk, because you can tell a lot by what's on someone's desk, on their walls. When you walk into somebody's home, you can see immediately what's on their walls. You can tell what's important to them, what's not, what they appreciate. You can tell a lot of personality traits by that. And that's what I use in order to get a little bit comfortable and find some association, some rapport. When I start having a conversation, like, oh, you're a Dodger fan? Oh, I'm a Dodger fan too. Great. We'll start talking about, quick baseball, even though it might sound like it's some, just kind of, not, it's not direct conversation. It's just something to break the ice, oh, you're I don't know, I find little hints so that it just makes it easier to break the ice with people.
Yeah, and all of that is back to walking into a room. That's your brand of being present. And actually, for me, about a couple of years ago, I was walking out of a department store. I just went in to check for some pricing, and I walked with a certain way, with presence, moving slowly, watching my peripheral vision, making eye contact, acknowledging people. And to the point where this one gentleman, must have been late 70s, maybe 80s, he had a gray beard and cap on with all these pins. He stopped as I was walking out his cart, and he looked at me and he saluted to me. So I was giving apparently the impression that I was in the military or some kind of officer by the way I was walking. And so that clicked into his mind. I didn't ask him. I didn't salute because I'd never been in the military. But that's how people can read other people, and probably reading you as well. When you walk into a room, you walk in present, not making quick, jerky motions, just gliding, making eye contact, looking around, to where I'm not afraid of you, and you don't have to be afraid of me. I'm here. So that's part of your brand.
I gotta add this one. One of my in the audience, one of our viewers right now, Pablo Garcia. Thank you very much for the comment. He says sometimes by looking at their shoes. I gotta tell you, that one hits me like boom. I could tell a person, a businessman, or a person that by their shoes, in the sense that of how they carry themselves, and I have to agree with that one, Pablo. When I see a businessman that's in full on suit and shoes are scuffed up, not paid attention to, you can tell like that you got all of it on, but the details, the devil's in the details, and you didn't polish your shoes, or they're just kind of thrown back. I'm like, okay, so I agree with that statement. There is no excuse if you're going to prepare yourself and do things. That certain details. I mean, I look at people's hands when I'm sitting with other business people, whether they're businesswoman or businessman. I look at their hands, their mannerisms, the details. Whether they're wearing a watch, a ring, earrings, necklace, what they're wearing. Are they pressed? I mean, those are all the things that really within the few minutes of a conversation, I'm watching head to toe. Do they comb their hair? Are they wearing perfume, cologne? There's a lot of different things. And I've learned that over the 25 years of being in the entertainment industry. I learned that those details were important because you can tell, you can just tell the people that actually cared about, going out, getting ready for themselves. Yeah.
And some people may not purposely look at the shoes. However, they'll leave the conversation with this feeling, back to the intuition. Go, I don't know, just something wasn't right about that guy, that person. And they may have unconsciously noticed the shoes were scuffed, but they didn't put that together. But you're purposely looking at things and noticing things. But other people, they just have a feeling. They walk out and they say, "Oh, there was something wrong. That something didn't feel right about that person. They weren't making eye contact, or their shoes were scuffed. They were talking really fast and nervous, or whatever it was." And so that gave them an impression. And so you can say something? Or?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Finish your thought. I do have something before I forget though.
Yeah, and so we're communicating we communicate at different levels. Our words, our voice, our eye contact, even the speed of our words, the speed of our voice, it gives an impression. Our gestures, our motions, how we stand. And that's also back to my book, Connect with Anyone in 90 Seconds or Less. That's based on NLP, and it's about the mindset. When you want to connect with somebody, you just project warmth and confidence, and also just the expectation that you expect to like them. They're going to be okay with you, because if you expect that they're not going to like you, you're going to talk differently. You're going to be a little bit more in defense. But if you expect they're going to like you, they're going to be okay, you're going to like them, then you're projecting warmth and confidence right at the beginning, and how you meet them and how you greet them, where you stand, where you move, your gestures, your voice, the words you want to be cautious with. So that's in the book, Connect with Anyone in 90 Seconds or Less. And you were going to say something.
And where can people find your book if they want to find your book?
Yeah, they're all on Amazon.
Okay. So you can go to Amazon.com. You can look it up.
Connect with Anyone in 90 Seconds or Less. Oh, and also, or you can just, in the search, put my name, Mike Aguilera, and it should come up with my book. And
they can also go to mikeaguilera.com, right, to learn more information about you?
Yeah. I have information on there, and about my material, my workshops, and my courses that I have for download for easy access.
So I want to ask you something. So maybe I'm going to go through a breakthrough right now with you. Exercise. This is a question. So when I'm doing business with people, and I don't know where I picked up I don't know where I picked it up from, but I know that the fact that when I'm doing business and the other person is selling or saying something or share something, and in the middle of their conversation, they go like they cough right there for some reason, Mike. I'm like, oh, that's bullshit. So I don't know why. I'm like, oh, this guy's bullshitting me now. This conversation is not going the direction that I'm going, or there wasn't 100% truth about it. Now, I've never asked anybody or like someone that understands the human behavior, but I've noticed it because, and I've maybe associated because the person that at the time, and this goes back many years, but while we're having conversation, and in the middle of a peak moment, I hear like a cough or like they clear their throat. I'm like, that must have been a bullshit. It must have something just wasn't clear, and that's what I've associated with it in a meeting. So when I watch or when I'm listening to people in business meetings, and that happens, I'm like, oh shit, flag. And but at the end, obviously, something positive will turn out of it, or not. But to me, while you're saying something important, it's like that to me is a red flag. I don't know why.
It could be a cough. However, if they don't cough again or just comes and I actually I was talking to somebody about a program, and I said, so how much is the program? And he goes, it's $6,000. Okay, he's not too confident about the price, and so there's room for negotiation. And
so maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a cue for me, telling me that there's a break in that in there, and there might be opportunities. So that's why I didn't say it was a negative, but at the same time, it was a flag, and it was something that I caught. My intuition said, "Boom! Oh, there's a break there."
Yeah, and with real estate agents, they do this a lot. When they get to the point where they have to talk about their commission, and their voice changes. And this is all the marketing I'm going to do. We're going to have a drone and photos. So how much is the commission? The commission's going to be 6%. They start like afraid to say it.
They start to whisper. You got to be a closer. You got to close. You got to kill the bait while it's done. Like close all the way. You got to be a closer to the end. Yeah. And
so I say practice saying your commission with confidence. Otherwise, they're going to negotiate with you. Just say. And I tell them with real estate agents, I say, start off low, meaning my commission is only 3%. Now we only have to figure out the commission for the buyer's agent. which could be another 2 or 3%. So you don't start off with 6%.
Ooh, I love that strategy. You just came in, yeah. Because oh wow, that's a great strategy, Mike. I like that. Yeah.
Because at
You
6%,
come in at what you're getting paid. Hey, my commission is 3%. Now I could see myself using that tactic on somebody. Hey, my commission's $100 million. Now we just got to work on somebody else's.
yeah. And just
I love it.
practice saying that with confidence and sincerity and being authentic. Like you're worth it. You're the prize. This is what you're worth. You're going to get, and it's only 3%. And I had some agents come back to me and say, I did that, and the seller said, "Is that all? Bring in your own buyers if you want." And so
it was just like me telling Baron Davis with confidence, "Oh, it's going to cost you $5,000," or his agent, "It's going to cost $5,000." And I said it with such confidence. The guy says, "No problem. Who do I pay?" Oh, I was like, damn, I left money on the table. Like that was what I got out of it. I was like, when it was too easy, I was like, damn, I left money on the table, because had I said 10,000, maybe he would have said okay, or he would have negotiated, and I would have got my $5,000 or more. But that was at least I said it with confidence. I didn't clear my throat. I knew with certainty that in order to get into my place, you were going to have to pay. So somebody was going to have to pay. So
and so anyway. So back to your brand, to Smoke and Mirrors, that you were consistently branding yourself by doing things and being someone that's committed and executes and hustles. And to the point that I remember in your book, where you were going to reopen the restaurant, Chachos? Or what is the restaurant?
Okay. Yeah.
And the gentleman, Terrence, was that his name?
Yeah, Terrence. Yes, yeah. Terrence Brown. Yep.
Where he knew about you by your reputation, by your brand, that he gave you money on a handshake. You didn't have to prove yourself.
It was the fastest close that I've ever had in my life. To this day, that is the fastest close. I walked in, and within 10 minutes, hey, I didn't even get a chance to give a description of myself. Hey, this is George Sanchez. He's the owner. He's been he's the founder of the Chachos brand. I'm his business partner, Mauricio Mejia, and I start going into, I own the vault. He cuts me off. I don't even get to finish. I know who you are. How much do you need? I was like, oh man. And so again, I learned my lesson from that one, because I was like, 150,000. He's like, and he's like, okay, can I give you half today and the other half into a couple of days? And I was like, oh, I could ask for 200,000, 300, or I don't know. It just that from the confidence level, I'm just like, man, I think I've shot myself in the foot a couple of times, but it's okay, because the flip side to it is I could have asked for too much and I could have gotten a no. So the fact that I got a yes and made it work, hey, good for me.
Well, the big thing there for other people to pay attention to is your brand, your reputation preceded you. So you didn't have to try to impress him. He already had an impression about you, who you were, your commitment, your being genuine, authentic, and noble with what you do. So he wasn't worried about, okay, let me do a background check on this guy. He already knew about you. And so a lot of people are not aware of that. They think that I'm just going to go through this world wearing the right suit and the right car, and people are going to be impressed by me. But word gets out, especially with social media. You start posting weird stuff on there, doing weird things, or not returning phone calls. And I even real estate agents say, if anyone calls you, because real estate agents are notorious for saying, I'm always ready for referrals. I love referrals. And I've called a few people and asked them, hey, I have a question. Call me. Give me a call back. And a real estate agent won't call me back, maybe for about 2-3 weeks, or never, because they don't think I'm a seller or buyer. They just think I'm just someone. But that gives me the impression that real estate agent is just too busy, or not timely, or not professional enough to even call me back. So no, real estate agent,
that to me doesn't. It's not. You're never too busy. That just shows me that their priorities are somewhere else. And unfortunately, for people that do that, and trust me, Mike, today I had such a high level meeting. We closed. Man, north of $400 million worth of business today, and future stuff that we're working on. And I told one of the principals today, literally, hey, listen, man, we're gonna do business. When I call and my team members call, we're expecting a phone call right away. We're not waiting here to go down the pecking order to get a response back. We need a phone call. And they were very apologetic. And I said, don't be apologetic. Just don't do it again. Because, but I have to be very direct, Mike.
Yeah.
I have to get my point across. If you're going to do business with our group and we're going to get the results that we want, then we expect everyone to be playing at the same level with the same intensity. If not, it's okay. There's plenty of other people out there that want to play the game at the level and the intensity that we want to play the game. So we're not gonna waste our time at this point, Mike. In my life, I look at it. I'm very grateful that I'm alive today, and that tomorrow's never promised. But I live in the now. I live in today. That I have to make things happen. I have a big responsibility to shareholders, to partners, to employees, to people that pour into me, that believe and invest in me. You're right. Again, it goes down to they're investing into my brand, into what I do, because I deliver. I have a track record of delivering on what I say I'm going to do. So for me, I want to make sure that the people that are around me as well also play at the level that I'm playing, because that's what I'm accustomed to. If not, it's okay. There's 8 billion people on this planet. Somebody wants to play at that level.
Yeah, and
Mike, that's the way I'm looking at it. That's just the way it is. People wake up, everybody. I mean, we're in Silicon Valley. I had this morning I had a mindset call with a group of young entrepreneurs. All future, if they stick to what they say they're going to do, they're all potential future millionaires. But at the end of the day, you'll have to play life at its fullest peak, because I'm not going to jinx myself, but tomorrow's never promised, man. Bottom line. So I live life to the fullest, man. I just, because that's my ambition. That's, you said it earlier. I knew that my why, my purpose was much more. My destiny was more than what I had as growing up as a child, and I know that why not? Let's just do it. So,
I agree. I
want to be. Go ahead. No. I just wanted to be mindful. I know we're in over an hour already, and I'm in no rush. I do have a few more questions that I just wanted to ask, and I just wanted to make sure that I cover them with you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm okay with time as well. So
okay. Hey,
keep on the conversation.
Time is good for me. I love it, because this is going to live on the internet for life, and I hope that I know that this will make an impact on others as they listen and watch the things that we're discussing tonight. So thank you to everybody that's still continuing to watch and listen. To everyone around, make sure to leave a comment. Make sure to reach out. I put MikeAguilera.com on the chat line, so make sure you guys log on, check it out, drop him I'm sure there's a way to contact you on there, so make sure to reach out. So a couple of things that I wanted to before we wrap it up is do you personally, or does your company do any community work? Do you get back, or do you get involved with community? And if so, share with us some of those community outreaches that you do.
Yeah, when you say community, the community that I do outreach with or to would be a lot of associations, like there's Latino associations, there's Alpha, Association of Latino Professionals in Finance and Accounting. So those are nonprofit groups. There's also what used to be called NHIMBA, National Hispanic Society for MBAs. So these are all nonprofits, and they're big. I mean, they got chapters all over the United States. I mean, Alpha, NHIMBA, which is now Prospanica. And so their mission is to mentor kids that are going out of college or coming out of college, and a lot of the leaders in those groups work at high-level professional companies like Cisco, Intel, or Deloitte and Touche, or depends on what industry they're in. So I will volunteer for some of their events to just do outreach and help them do a presentation, do a workshop, do a Zoom session at no cost. And so helping other Latinos get some social skills and personal development skills so they can excel in their leadership development and job interviews and presentation skills and just communication in general for business and relationships. So that's the kind of outreach that I do, is primarily with nonprofit groups like that. And if there's another nonprofit group that I can help that's appropriate, that I have time for, I would be glad to. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, no, we're good. Hey, that's your answer. There's no right or wrong here. This is just about, what is it that you do. The last one that I really excited. I know you love to teach. Tell us about this passion of yours. I mean, obviously, I know we've talked about we've probably covered it, but really, you love to teach. It kind of seems that that's your calling. Share with us what was it that triggered you, aside from maybe you were afraid to speak in public. I mean, you're now teaching and coaching people, man. That's do you think you're a better a coach than a student? I mean, I know I've learned some things about me that I'm like, man, I'm a better coach than learning something new. I mean, it just through experience, I guess.
Yeah, what was kind of crazy now is I presented in rooms of 1,000 people, 800, 500. And so for me, my, I guess, skill that I've been told that I have is I'm able to coach or present information in a way that makes sense, that people understand. Because in NLP, there's a lot of terms that can be confusing. There's modalities, submodalities. And so I talk about body language and your voice and why it's important to do certain things, or why you want to pause. What happens if you pause? Because the other person then can process what you just said, create anticipation for what's going to say next. And if a person is bilingual and they're trying to translate what you're saying into their native language, you want to pause so they can do that and they can keep up with you. Otherwise, they may not know. So to me, that's what I've been told is, what you say, Mike, is common sense. It makes sense, but no one's ever told me that. No one's ever talked about body language, how to stand, how to move. They just said, be confident. But what does that sound like? What does that look like? How do I be confident? It's a mindset. It's your voice, your words, how you stand, your gestures. All of that is projecting confidence and also empathy. So for me, that's why I love what I do. I love learning about people, about myself, what makes me tick, and about other people, why they communicate the way they do, why they do certain things. And before, if I didn't know the things I knew now, I'd probably have arguments with a lot of people and say, they're crazy. Why are they doing that? But some people are very procedural. They will have to tell stories. They will have to tell you, you ask them, how's your day going? And they go, well, I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I had a cup of coffee, and they go through this big, long story. So they're very procedural. You don't think, okay, this person's just a storyteller.
People, when they start doing that, honestly, sometimes I have to cut people off, and I'm like, do I look like a trash, like a dump yard? And they're like, huh? And I'm like, yeah. Do I look like a dump yard where you can come and dump all your shit on me? And I say it to the people, obviously, that I'm comfortable with. There's not. I don't want to be a jerk about it, but I have to reprogram them in the sense that, look, guys, don't come to me with your problems. We all have problems. Now, I don't mind listening to a kind of a macro version of a problem, but when you go down to the certain details, I'm like, whoa! It just all of a sudden, what it does to my mind, it goes like, shh, like this is the only way I can describe it. Right? It's like it mashed potatoes my mind. I want the facts. Cut it short to the facts, and let's keep going. How do we find solutions? But if you want to start telling me a story, you tune me out and you actually turn me off. And when you turn me off, it's very hard to turn me back on, because now you're just a storyteller. You're just here bullshitting, wasting my time. I don't have time for that. I'm here about being effective, efficient with my time, and finding the solutions in order to get the results that I'm trying to get to, especially at the level that I'm playing and the people that I'm associated with. Why? Because the people that I'm also associated with don't want a story. They don't want to hear a story. They want the facts. Because we're moving at such a fast pace, and we're dealing with such high frequency, high volume, and high dollar amounts in certain things that, if you want to have, I always tell people, hey man, if you want to tell a story later, after we're done with work, we can go have a drink and we can sit down and have some stories and laugh about it. But right now, we need to focus and we need to find solutions, because we have deadlines, and I don't want to say unfortunately, but that's just the way the world is. It is that it's compartmentalized things, that certain things have to get done by a certain time in order to get the results that we need to get done. So if that makes any sense, and I know for you it makes sense. I mean, it just, and that's the way I structure myself, so that you're right. Time is money, Pablo. You're right. Boom. It's time is money. Plus I've had a long day. I've been going since 5:30 this morning, 5 o'clock, and sometimes I even get up at 4:30, and I start my day. And the way I reinforce myself is I have to hit the gym because I have to get fired up and like get my I put my armor on, because I know the minute I go out into the real world, all the garbage just starts and problems or this and that, also with some good stuff. So I'm always like matrix processing and looking at the matrix going through it, and I get to pick and I get to see like, oh, this is going to be a good day. Oh, this is going to be good. All right, this is going to be bad. The next problem is right around the corner. So many moving parts and just keeping all the balls in the air. So
yeah. So you have an opportunity now. What you just revealed to me is you're a bottom line kind of person.
Yes.
And the storyteller person is a procedural person. They have to go through their mind what happens or what's going to happen, and they tell you a story. So you can either interrupt them and stop them in the middle of the story, or listen to their story. Depends on how much time depends on how much time you have.
Yeah.
But the key is now that if a person keeps on telling stories and they're very procedural, and for you to influence and motivate them, you give them steps to do. Okay, I want you to do these 3 things, because they need steps, they need procedures to really take action. Because if you say, I just want you to do this, they go, okay, how do I do that? If you tell them, do these 3 things or do these 7 things, a procedural person will eat that up. They'll love it. They'll have a sense of control in their world. So that when you have a person that's very procedural, that tells you stories, just give them steps to do in regards to if you need them to take action in something.
Oof. Yeah. Then now I'm managing people, and that for me it is a great trait. I do love to manage people, but I don't like to micromanage people. So I also like to surround myself with people that are self-starters, people that can manage their own selves, and they don't need to be the task-oriented person is not the person that I can necessarily I can't have too many of those kind of personalities on my team, because then I have to create that layer of management where it requires a management. I want people to come in, learn the process. When they learn the process, they master the process, and when they master the process, they are self-starters, and they know that we create such a vibe where I can look at you, you understand that look and the time and the day. We know that there's processes and systems in place so that we know how we run, because consistency goes back to consistency. We know what's going to happen on Monday. We know what's going to happen on Tuesday. We know what's going to happen on Wednesday. We know what's going to happen on Thursday, and we know what happens on Friday. If we build those systems and those patterns, we know. And that's what I do just for one business. I have multiple businesses where there's certain things that I have to get into place so that we can manage them. Again, at the end of the day, for me, people say, hey, Mauricio, how is it that you handle all these different businesses and all these different things? Well, bottom line for me is time management. If I can't manage my own time, then I start to fall behind, or just poor time management, then my businesses will be affected, and myself. I would become a personal a mess, and because I'm not managing my time. Now, I'm not trying to control everything. I'm just trying to manage it so that it's manageable, so that I can continue to do the things that I love to do and want to do moving forward. So
yeah. So yeah, yes.
I think I could be a great case for you.
Well, the key that I want to point out is there are certain people that have a procedural mindset that fit certain roles. It could be an accountant that needs check and balances. They have to go through a series. Or it could be a program manager that needs to know, okay, these are all the steps that we need to do, and we need to check off the boxes. So there are certain people that have this skill that you have around you. But if in conversation or in business, if it's high level, and I also am a certified speaker for Vistage International. I don't know if you know of Vistage International, or do you?
No, never.
Oh, yeah, it's a group. It's international, and it's based off mentoring and coaching CEOs. So they have chapters throughout the world. I presented at a few of them here in Santa Rosa, Sacramento, and it's about 20 CEOs that meet once a month. And there's a retired CEO of a company that guides them through different things that are going on, or challenges that they're having, or talk about raising money or expanding, whatever it is. And they bring in speakers once in a while. So approved as a speaker. I had to go through and come out like an audition to be a speaker. And when I'm talking to those CEOs, they talk about what you were saying is, yes, when I get employees that call me and they go through this big story, I say, so what's the problem and what's the solution? Instead of telling me, step by step, just tell me what is going on and what's the solution. Come to me with a solution, not just a problem. Tell me what's going on, and so it's not just you. A lot of high-level CEOs have this problem or have this challenge, and so they have to have a different conversation. Like I said, they have to tell them, okay, so let's just save some time here. What's the challenge? What's the problem? And what do you think a solution is? And just don't tell me there's a problem. This employee doing bad stuff. So what do you think we should do? Well, and so one question.
Go ahead.
Well, you go ahead, because I have a question about your businesses and your brand.
Go
ahead. You have all of these different businesses, the fitness, the real estate investing, the restaurants. And it's not a consistent, like a real estate agent has a consistent brand. They're going to be selling houses. They're going to be showing homes that they sold. They're going to be branding themselves with, looking the right way. But for you, your brand is just an entrepreneur. You have all of these different businesses. How do you make a decision? You decide, commit, and execute the decision to venture into a business related to your brand. But your brand to me is you. You are the brand, the decision maker. But everything is so unique. But I'm sure it's all fun to you. How do you make the decision for yourself based on your brand to execute and to commit and execute?
That's a great question, by the way, and that's not just my response. That is a great question. I appreciate that one. The way that I've made my what I call my lanes. I have 5 lanes, and in my lanes, they all have to somehow they have to work in the same wheelhouse. They have to complement each other one way or another. When I was in the entertainment industry for 25 years, the restaurant, bars, and nightclubs made sense because they all complemented each other. Hey, if you're going to come to my club, thanks. Before you come to my club, why don't you stop by my restaurant, enjoy some dinner there, blah, blah, blah. So I made it so that it was a kind of a circle, the wheel of fortune, or a circle of wealth, so that everything, I was making money not just from one thing, but from multiple things. What I've done now is I have a staffing business, is my lane number 1, which that is what pays the bills and allows me to create. It generates enough that allows me to gives me the freedom to do multiple businesses or to get involved in other things. My second lane is real estate development and commercial construction. So I get involved in that type of business. And those are the big money making projects that take a lot of time and energy and that can be very highly rewarding. And then my third lane is my fitness and fitness lane. One, because it's important to me, fitness, and I have a great partnership in the new brand that we're launching. And then my fourth lane was my media company. Now everything I do it in lanes, and I call it in lanes because that's how it's my pecking order. It's what's important to me and how I prioritize things. My last one is the fifth lane that I created, where I decided that I wanted to get involved in stocks and cryptocurrency and foreign exchange. So, but what I do is in each of those lanes, there is what I call the workhorse or the lead partner, or the person that, because I can't do everything, but I can be involved in a lot of different things. So I have in every lane, there's a lead person in those, because that allows me to let them lead while I follow, or I have the ability that we can go back and forth. So for me, and at the same time, I'm also very ambitious. I want to do great things while I'm here on this planet. And that's not for personal. One, the personal challenge, but for me, it's the more that I have, the bigger impact I can make on this world, because it takes resources, and resources means money. Everything takes money to make things, unless you donate your own personal time. But then it goes into conflict with myself, where time, energy equals money, or all three of those, time, energy, and money, all work together. And I have to make sure that my time is well invested, my energy is at its peak, and that whatever we do financially invested, or the reward is there, so that it then falls into what my personal criteria is, and how I categorize the businesses that I get involved in.
Isn't there a sixth lane, the cleaning, biohazard, and the cleaning
That's
service? Or is that
that's my staffing business.
the
So
staffing business?
in
Okay.
the staffing business, we provide labor for these fire, water damage restoration companies, and also focus on COVID cleanups, where we disinfect buildings and so forth. So
Okay.
yeah,
Good.
yeah.
And
So
so, are the opportunities brought to you, or do you generate them on your own?
both. It's a hybrid. It's some I generate, and some are, they come to me, and and we find an opportunity within the information that we're sharing. And that's just how it works out. The staffing business, back in 2014, when I started the company, it was someone came with an opportunity, shared some information, and we saw that it was very profitable, and we took it. I knew nothing about staffing. I was an entertainment guy and hospitality, and when I took it, we took it in 5 years to 2019, up to $100 million, and that was a very successful company. In 2020, obviously, the world went upside down, and during COVID, I launched my own company, and in 46 weeks, we've crushed it, and that has also springboarded to other opportunities, because I never stopped. For me, COVID, it slowed me down to recalibrate and refocus myself and really see where the opportunities were, because while everybody slowed down and was, the sky is falling, I was like, oh shit, the sky isn't falling, this is opportunity. Because that's just what my intuition was, and I have no regrets. I look back now and I'm like, all the hard work that I did during this downtime has paying back 100 million times more. So
Yeah. No, same
so
with me. And with COVID, it just opened up new opportunities for me, and getting busy to the point with clients and coaching clients that I had to say, okay, this is enough. I'm not taking on any more coaching clients, because I wanted to do the coaching and also work on other material and other things, and have a balance with marketing and development. So I didn't slow down. I actually got busier.
yeah.
People
and,
started
and
to reach out to me.
and for me, that's exactly what happened. People started gravitating to me because they knew that I was solution oriented. I was problem solving oriented. I knew that, you came through with me to a problem. I found the where, the why, and the how to resolve it and fix it. So but what I did do is I also overloaded myself, and now I'm at the point where no more new projects. Now I have to maintain what I have and finish the things that I've started, because as I finish them, they'll become very rewarding. So it takes a skill to do that. It's not just anybody can do it, and that's why I don't just say, "Oh, Mauricio the entrepreneur." No, Mauricio Mejia the serial entrepreneur, because it's more than one. And for me, I'm dedicated to it 100%. I mean, I'm here on after a full day. I mean, I should be out with my partner celebrating right now, but this is important to me, sharing with the world what we have here, sharing, the things that you can share with the world. Those are important things, and that's my way of thinking. Like, oh man, I'm doing well, and in my day to day, and this is my outlet to make an impact on the community, on the world that's out there, that's starving for this type of information, because they may not know where to get it. So I'm hoping that with the influences that I have, and also the relationships that I've created, that I could share my information with people. So
Yeah. And then two things. One is you've also created different streams of income, which is probably a lesson you learned in the past, that, hey, don't put all your eggs in one basket, spread out spread out the opportunity, so that if anything goes wrong or sideways, I got a different stream of income coming in, or just modify it. And so that to me kind of stood out as well. I can't remember what the second question I was going to ask you, but I'm sure it's going to pop in my mind.
it's okay, Mike. It's okay. Well, Mike, I want to just say, I want to wrap it up here. I want to say thank you very much for your time, for taking the time to really also get to know who I am, and I appreciate the fact that you took the time to read both of my books, and I hope that you got some stuff out of it, just like I look forward to getting some stuff out of your book, and also building a long-term partnership, working partnership here, because I think that you have a lot to offer, and a lot of things that we can we can share and that you can share with me, because at this point I'm looking to people that have experience in different lanes so that they can help me as I'm growing and developing and moving in this world, that I know how to manage all the different things that come at me. So again, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing with the world your knowledge, and really just breaking out of the shell. Congratulations as well to learning to speak to the audience, to the public. I don't want to say I was ever afraid of it. I was never shy, but the more that I've done it, the more practice I get. I think that every week I get better at speaking. I look at some of my old shows and I'm just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But now I enjoy it. Now I laugh at myself. I'm like, what? I said that? I'm like, man, that must be crazy. So, because I can never take it back. So anyway, Mike, I want to say thank you again. Any last words of encouragement or advice that you want to give our audience out there?
Yeah, two. One is to help you in the audience on how to wake up, and the other is a quote by Jim Rohn. And first, let me give you the tip on mindset, because you said you wake up early and you got things to do. And so one thing that I teach people, and also I've even been putting together a book to help parents with their kids in regards to the mindset and helping them learn and remotely and things like that, because learning doesn't happen in school. It happens everywhere. So one tip is, before you go to bed, tell yourself how you're going to feel when you wake up and what you're going to do. So you say, tomorrow at 5 o'clock, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to feel great. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to have a great time. I'm going to handle all those challenges and any questions. And so this is the same thing that happens. Your mind starts to condition itself. And when you wake up, you're going to have that sensation. It's also that experience you might have had where you say, oh, tomorrow I have to go to the airport and get on my flight. I'm going to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And you wake up right before the alarm goes off. At 5:59, you wake up right before the alarm goes off. Your mind is still working for you throughout the night. And so I told this to people, and I said, yeah, I used to wake up dreading I was going to go work out. It's cold. Now I tell myself I'm going to feel great. I'm going to be excited about working out, and they jump out of bed. So for all your listeners, and maybe for yourself as well, unless you do this already, just tell yourself how you're going to feel. And
I need to practice it more. I got to tell you that. Thank you for reminding me, because sometimes when I go to bed feeling like shit, I wake up feeling like shit. And instead, I need to really tell myself, hey, Mauricio, you know what? Look at yourself and say, fuck, you crushed it today. You did this, and this, and be able to reflect and say that. So I do appreciate that, because again, sometimes I need a leader to lead me as well, because man, we're going so fast at times that we forget some of the great things that we're doing and that we've done.
Yeah.
So,
so I appreciate that. We have on, the positive impact and also negative impact we have with our self-talk, what we tell ourselves. And the quote I wanted to share with you is a Jim Rohn quote.
I'm going to type it. So I'm listening to you. Okay. Go ahead.
Success is not something you pursue. It will elude you like a butterfly. Success is attracted to you by the person you become. And so that's why I pursued a lot of personal development. It improved me, and it creates what's called intrinsic with an internal drive or goals. The better I am as a person, the more opportunities I can handle, the more I can help other people, versus the extrinsic goals, the new car, the new toy or whatever. Those are okay to have, but if you build yourself up right with the right mindset, the right language, the right communication, whatever it is, then you become a better person. And same thing what you were saying is you wanted to do so much. Yeah, years ago, I had that same thought of, what if a meteor landed on me and all this knowledge I have is lost? I was not able to share it with the world. And I think the same thing with what you're saying is, what if a meteor landed on you? Tomorrow's not promised. And you have all of these ventures that can change and transform people's lives and get people jobs and make some improvements in our economy and our world and people's lives. And so you're here with that destination, that destiny. And so we all should have that mindset of go out there and make things happen, make it a better world, make yourself a better person. And it'll seem like success is being attracted to you when it's actually you just being and even the term of the law of attraction, to me, it's the law of awareness. Once you put in your mind what you want, what's important to you, you start to become aware of opportunities around you. It's not as if you're attracting them, it's you're not starting to notice them. They've always been there. And that's why people that have this right mindset of creating opportunities, they see things, they expect to be lucky.
That's right. That's right. I agree with you 1,000,000% on that, Mike. Yeah, I agree. And one of the quotes that I say is, there's two of them. There's many quotes, but some of my favorite ones is, nothing or no one will get in the way of my success. And I say that with confidence and with just certainty. And the other one is, and this was taught to me by a mentor of mine, is success is not a destination, it's a journey. So have fun with it, roll with it. And so once I started to learn to have fun with my success, I started to really, opportunities just keep coming and pouring into me, and a lot of great things. People start to really believe and have the confidence to invest in me as well. So thank you. Thank you for reminding me today of all the different, all the great things that I have done. In one way or another, you've made an impact on me today, and I hope that you've made an impact on others that are out there watching and listening today and then in the future, because this will live on forever. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate your time.
Yep, my pleasure.
All righty, good. We'll see each other soon out here in the San Jose area. And congratulations again on your success. And if there's anything that I can, my network, that we can work together, let's continue to move forward and do some great things. The world is now open, and well, it's open temporarily. Let's hope that it's now permanently open, and that we can get back to some normalcy. And I'd love to sit down with you on a one-on-one to talk about post-COVID and just mindsets, because I know that during this COVID time, it did have an impact on my mindset, but it didn't break me. It only made me stronger. So
sounds good. It's a plan.
Good. Thank you so much, Mike. Have a wonderful evening, and we will talk soon.
Yes, we will. Thanks for the invitation. Goodbye,
Thank
everyone.
you, sir. Have a good night. Mm-hmm. All right. What an amazing evening tonight. I want to say thank you to our special guest, Mike Aguilera, who shared and dropped a lot of knowledge. And I got definitely a lot of knowledge today. I need it. I'm going through a lot of great things, great opportunities that are becoming to fruition. Want to remind everyone that we are opening up a new gym. This is a beta. It's a hybrid. It's a one of a kind here in downtown San Jose. This thing will go worldwide, and it will be one of those that it'll be a household name brand. So want to invite everyone to visit punchkingfitness.com to check out what we're building here in downtown San Jose. And I look forward to having all of my friends and family and followers and guests and all that to become a part of this major global movement that so also, if you want to learn more about me and what I'm doing, you can follow me on my Facebook, on my Twitter, on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram. Just and if I have so many, it's at Mauricio Mejia. And if you don't have that, or you're having a hard time, you can Google me, Mauricio Mejia San Jose, or Mauricio Mejia Entrepreneur, and I will pop up. So once again, I want to thank everyone that has made this very possible, to my team, and again, to everyone that continues to support. Thank you. Without you, Mauricio Mejia Live would not be possible. Last but not least, if you haven't picked up a copy of Decide, Commit, Execute, it's on Amazon, or my first book, Smoke and Mirrors. Make sure to pick it up on Amazon. They're great quick reads. Of course, they're great quick reads. They're my books. So if you want to learn more about Mauricio Mejia, you can dive into those books, and you will see another side of me. So once again, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. I will see you next week, next Wednesday. I have one of my good friends, college buddies, who has turned out to be an amazing screenwriter, movie writer, and he's got so many great things to talk about. He's also big in politics. We're gonna have a great conversation next week. My good friend Peter Mellado out of Los Angeles is going to be on my show next week, so I'm looking forward to having him here and sharing our college experience with everybody. So thank you, everyone, for joining tonight. We'll see you next Wednesday, 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. on the East.